My whole life, I've always chased success. My one life philosophy that I stood by no matter what was if you work hard enough, you can do whatever you put your mind to. I think the one thing that scares me the most in life is never figuring out what my purpose and potential is on this big rock. I did everything that I could to stand by that. I worked hard for years and years, skipped birthdays and parties, chose to stay in and revise, woke up at 5 a.m. to study for year 10 history tests, worked so hard my Asian parents were begging me to take a break desperately. Last year, I finally graduated from high school and started at the University of Melbourne, doing a Bachelor of Science majoring in data science. But for a while I felt anchored, tied down to a well-worn road of stability and consistency and monotony. And more I've started to question, is this what I really want to do for the rest of my life? What am I supposed to be doing? What makes me happy? And as I thought for weeks on end, the value of stability that I've anchored myself to starts to feel more and more distant. Anchors can keep us safe and secure, but sometimes all you want to do is float to the top and take a breath of fresh air. And so it was up to me to make a big girl decision, continue down this well-lit path and continue my data science major, or shake everything up and take the road less traveled, take a big leap of faith and start subjects I knew nothing about that would lead to a great deal more uncertainty. This is that 2 weeks of my life where I somehow went through all 5 stages of grief in 14 days and I made a very, very big decision. Maybe one of the first decisions I've ever made for my own happiness. Today was my first day back at uni after a while. Since wrestling with this decision on whether to change my course, I had become super depressed and didn't really want to leave the house. So today was my first day back and I wanted to make a day out of it to spend some time with myself, taking care of my mental health after a rough few weeks.
For so long, moonlight on the lawn. And your hand-me-down car feels so far away. All that I say, all that I do, I'm over the moon, thinking of you. All that I say, all that I do, I'm over the moon, thinking of you.
After class, I headed to a cafe to spend some alone time thinking about all the decisions that I had to make. Yes, my data science major was a sure bet, but I had always dreamed of entering a field which I both loved and excelled at, and I felt like I was making a contribution to. And I just felt like the computer science space just wasn't for me. This year I had taken other subjects such as psychology and law, which I loved and also felt like I was pretty good at. So I was thinking of an alternate pathway where I completed my Bachelor of Science but majored in neuroscience and then pursued a postgrad degree in law instead, which I found so fascinating. Was this pathway really right for me though? I don't know, but I would never know if I didn't try. Over the next few days, I dedicated myself to just doing research. I consulted with my professor. Just finished a meeting with my professor, and as you can probably tell, I started crying. I basically cried the whole way through, but he was so lovely. I spoke to people doing neuroscience, data science, comp science, law. I attended the Melbourne Law School info session. I was trying to gather all the information I could to make the most informed decision. After all of that, my mind was pretty set. It was a sunny afternoon when I finally sat down and decided that I was going to try and take my life down another path. To be honest, I was terrified. I've never really given up on anything before, but as a really wise person once said, giving up decisively is also a form of courage, and I was excited to see where this new pathway would lead me. Like a much needed breath of fresh air, the most beautiful day dawned as mid-semester break started after 9 tumultuous weeks. Spring was truly in the air, and taking full advantage of this heaven-sent weather, my friend Lisa and I decided to go on a picnic. You know the popular phrase, stop to smell the roses, appreciating the journey that you take in life? I've never really stopped to smell any flowers. In fact, I wouldn't even notice we were in a park. So today I decided to enjoy the day, do whatever made me happy, enjoy the beauty of the world, and make stupid impulse decisions like actually buying flowers, which were probably going to die in a week. Practical thinking with her head Natalie would have scoffed at such an idea, but she feels distant at the moment. I was gonna say this only costs like $8.
Way to go. The plastic weighs down.
Hang on, let me help you out. Can you move close to the backside? Okay, cool. Wait, no, I mean like the...
This side?
Jump it!
Okay, we're flyway.
Oh my god, look how cute that dog is. Cheers to finishing off this year strong, getting through exam and exam, and doing things in life which make us happy. You go.
To not die.
The decision of just dropping a subject and changing courses may have been small to many, but for me it was one which entirely challenged the foundations and values that I unhealthily kept so close and allowed to hold up my life. My whole life I've been chasing success, stuck in an endless tunnel with a single vision of what that would look like and how I would feel when I got there. But every time I would come to a pit stop of a goal and try to find some light, some pride, some happiness, there would never be any. I've been trying to find myself, trying to find happiness when all along it was up to me to create it. You are created by the actions you take, the thoughts you choose to make a reality, the energy you give to others, the way you look at yourself in the mirror. You find your happiness by making decisions that bring light to you, by choosing the people you surround yourself with and the moments of joy you choose to see and take the time to appreciate and enjoy. Life is way too short, and you are far too valuable to deprive yourself of these moments.